Hi and welcome back. Today's part 2 of the file and jig that I'm making here for doing my hidden tang knives. Right here it is. I've got it all cleaned up. The holes is not the big drills, big twists don't really want to do anything with it. But anyway, it still works. Now I'm drilled these two holes right here in this at what was that, 9/64 for this pin to slide in. So this pin like this right here. Alright, this one will slide on both sides there. This pin, this right here, into this one, it's got the blind holes. It will have to be driven in. So I will, after I get done heat treating it and lapping this down smooth and making sure everything else on this top right here is smooth. That's amazing. That sandpaper will cut it all to pieces, but you can't touch it with a file. I'd go figure. But anyway, once I get it hard, I hadn't hardened them yet. That's what I'm fixing to do. I had to go get gas earlier, so I can light my forge up, and I'll take these two up there and do it. I'd like to have a bunch of steel that I could heat up and and quench at the same time. A bunch of knives, first one thing and another. But not today. I'm going to do this right here, because I'm going to need it to make some clip point knives for using the elk antlers bases for handles. So anyway, so a couple of hidden tang knives, but I have been trying to do the heat and beat thing. I still haven't found the anvil. I ground a little on the hammer, but anyway, let's take this up there and I'll light the forge up. And we'll, while everything's setting up, getting hot, and getting ready to go, we'll do that, and I'll get the quenching oil. I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay, I'm at the forge now. I had this lid earlier, so it's still warm in there. I've still got some pieces of metal there, just short pieces. So, anyway, let me get this thing going here. I got the tank on. Light this. Open this a little bit and give it just a little bit of fuel. Alright, it's up and going. Give it just a few minutes to get warm up a little bit more. And I'm going to stick, excuse for blocking the view, I'm going to stick this shifter out of my tractor, gear shifter, out of it. It's hardened steel, or it was. It's been heated and dipped in my quenching oil a bunch. So, but anyway, that's what I use to warm my quenching oil up. Just go ahead and stick it in there, and I've got the quenching oil right here down under the camera, under the tripod there. I just hadn't got it open, and practicing blacksmithing sucks big time, trying to make a set of tongs. I've done nipped this end off where I screwed up on it, and that, and I had another piece of steel that I've tried on both ends. One of these days I might learn how to do it. I'm going to watch some more videos on YouTube on how to make tongs, and maybe they'll sink in this time. Done watched a dozen of them, but evidently I didn't pay attention. So anyway, if we can learn that, we'll be alright. Let me get this opened up right here. Let's see. in the meantime, while that's warming up there, like I said, I've been trying to make some tongs, but a little piece of railroad iron, it ain't too much. And my skill level, like I said, anything I do, I have to get better at, because I'm starting at the bottom. So I have a tendency to drop all this stuff. If we was playing the Alex Steele drinking game, where every time he dropped an item, forging or whatever like that, you know, well, England, all of England would be drunk, and 2/3 of Russia, because I have dropped things a million times. But anyway, what I done was I went in and I took these pliers apart and just cut me 2 little notches in there. So hopefully, I mean, they work a little bit better, but still, they're not tongs, but they're going to work for right now until I figure out how to make them. Right here is hot. That's red. Alright, I'm going to take this over here so it won't catch on fire and everything. Just let it burn for a few minutes. Now, I'm going to take that. Put it in there. Let me warm them up, and I'll come back to you and show you the quench. Alrighty, they should be ready to come out there. The whole inside of this forge is glowing red. It's hot. But anyway, so just let them cool off for a few minutes in the oil there. And you see my little pitiful anvil there, but hey, hopefully it'll work. I stopped at my local steel dealer and asked him if he had any scrap pieces of round stock. He don't have any high carbon stuff except for the rebar. So I decided I don't want rebar. So anyway, he asked if he had scraps. You know, it didn't matter how big around or whatever it was, but he did. So he got this piece, this, and this big old honking piece here for $10. I mean, there's plenty of screw up stuff here, plenty of play. Now, I don't think I showed on the yet. I've done a little video on, not much of one, on doing the covering my forge. If I remember, I told you that the rubber that I had covering it hung on here, and when it did that, it just flipped that burner out there and just tore all of it apart. Well, I fixed it where it won't do that. So anyway, I'll tie this in with that. I covered it with metal, and the same metal as I got on the side of the building there, and also covered it with 2 layers of mineral wool and or rock wool, And it's fireproof, waterproof, stuff like that. So it's got 2 extra layers of that on there, plus that. So it won't, and it's fastened to the table. So any way it goes, it won't come off there. It's pretty thick metal, and it's everything except for right here at the front of it. Naturally, after I've been running the forge, it's a little warm, but nothing. It's a little warm, not super hot. I don't want to keep your hand on it all day, but you know, it's pretty warm. The back's not even hot at all. The top's not at all. It's got 2 layers up here. The sides has only got 1 layer on each side. I apologize for that. I thought I said 2 layers, but the top and the back has got 2 layers. The sides has only got 1. So anyway, so I got that done. So let me fish these out, and we'll go check them. I'll take this back into the shop there, and we'll check them for how hard they are. Sure they'll be cool by now. Okay, well, I'm in here. This one's hard. This one. There's all that carbon on top of it. Put that carbon. Nothing. Good sharp edges. Good and sharp. Okay. So now we know it's hard. Now, get everything cleaned up here. Moved. I've been... a friend of mine, his husband died. And she's in the process of moving, so just by being her friend, I've inherited some stuff. So anyway, she's moving. She can't take it all with her. Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to get on cleaning this up, and all I'm going to do is I'll lay sandpaper down on my granite block here, and I'll knock all this off. Try to knock it off on both sides and everything. Get it everywhere I can. Then I'll make sure and lap them to where they fit together good, and make sure that the top part's good. The file won't cut it, but sandpaper will. So it's got to be the gravel effect of it. But anyway, I'll come back when I get them all cleaned up, and I'll show you, drive the pin and everything in there. If I can get the hole cleaned up good, I'll put a little Loctite in there so it won't come out. But till then, God bless.